So I saw that movie, the documentary about Mr. Rogers, and it was good. Um, Growing up as a kid, watching Mr. Rogers was very important um, because there's things I did know, but I like the atmosphere that he gave. He was clean. He was, what the thing about Mr. Rogers was like, he was groundbreaking because he was a white dude who was conservative and all that, but yet he had value. He spoke directly to the kids who were watching. He had diversity on his show. He was versatile, talented. Now, Mr. Rogers was kind of like, you think about like Benny Hill, Charlie Chaplin. He was a multi-talented guy, and he was very uplifting. And he said that you mattered, and that was very important to seeing it on PBS back in the day, because between that and Sesame Street or something like that, and Fat Albert and the Gang or something, you know, message shows were very important growing up back in the day. And Mr. Rogers was very fine tuned, delicateness, but he fine tuned. He was a gentle soul, and he wasn't soft. He was very matter of fact. He had a message in what he was about. He spoke out about different topics, and it was very uh, um, important to take that in. And it's lacking, because you think about, well, when you watch TV today, well, those kind of shows that emphasize love and understanding and the spirit. And excuse me, he was a very spiritual being, and um, I enjoyed it. So the documentary was very moving, tapped into his own upbringing. And it's funny because today, it's funny, he had an episode back in 1968 about someone building a wall, and I thought, wow, where have I heard that one lately? He was very ahead of his time with his methods and his mindset. So, I'm like, you put some respect by Mr. Rogers' name, Mr. Fred Rogers, because um, that documentary tapped on a whole lot of things, and he worked with different people and backgrounds, and they all felt like a family. And it was interesting hearing testimony from his wife and his children and sisters. But he was a very together man. He was very uplifting, very morally uh, movement, and it was great to go back down memory lane and learn something I didn't know. So that was a very well received documentary. Mr. Rogers was the truth. So there need to be more Fred Rogers out there to watch. All right, peace.